All right, our recording has begun, and we are welcoming you to our town hall on Schoology courses, design, customization for all content areas. Today, we're going to look at the purpose, the design, customization, and your participation. Please do remember to keep your microphones muted. All right. My name is Rosemary Jane, and I work with Cincinnati Public Schools in the Learning Technologies team. Super thrilled that we moved from the IT department this summer over to the Office of Curriculum, and we are now members of the Office of Curriculum and Instruction team. And so I come to you with 10 years experience as a self-contained kindergarten, first, second, and third grade teacher. I also briefly taught K-6 technology as a special before I finished my master's in K-12 tech enhanced learning and came to this new role in the district. And so with that, I want to pass this off to our partner, and who's now also a dear friend, Sarah Schroeder.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Schroeder. I'm a faculty member at the University of Cincinnati. I coordinate all of our undergraduate educational technology programs and courses for our pre-service teachers, and I'm thrilled to be working with Cincinnati Public Schools on this project.
Thanks, Sarah. I'm going to go to our next slide. It looks like Bridget just volunteered to co-moderate. When Sarah is presenting, I'll be moderating, but Bridget, yes, please, and thank you, because we cannot get enough people answering questions right now. We're already over 50.
Mary's helping out too. So.
Oh, Mary, great. Thanks so much. Yeah, you know what, Mary, Bridget, and me, last time we got way more questions than we could answer in a chat moderator, so let's all just team up and do that. Thank you so much. Yes, go team, that's right. And so, Bridget, do you want to introduce yourself real quick? That you're helping out?
Sure. I'm looking at the people in this room, and I'm so proud to see a number of our new hires. I'm recognizing names, but and then I also see a number of intervention specialists too. Not that, and that's my field. So in the introduction, I'm going to tag my specialists, but and ESOL specialists as well. But my name's Bridget McComas, and I'm Department of Student Services Manager of Diverse Learners, and I just popped in because I like to see the questions and feedback from our teachers so that it can inform our work. And so just welcome. Thanks for including me.
Oh, for sure. We invited our entire Office of Curriculum and Instruction team, but they are working on so many important priorities to help get you guys prepared for the year. So as many as that joins us, great. But Bridget, we're so glad to have you, and thanks for helping chat moderate. So what we're going to talk about today, that first slide just had in one word, but we are going to be talking about the purpose of these model lesson frameworks and templates for your Schoology. Well, that's funny because let me exit this real quick because it didn't refresh. Sorry. You isn't. Don't you love technology hiccups? Here we go. All right, we'll be talking about the purpose of the model lesson frameworks and templates for your Schoology courses. We'll be looking in more detail at the design, universal design for learning, empathy, simplicity, and relevance to your students. We're also going to be looking at how you can access these templates and the pre-release version of the model lesson frameworks and personalize and customize those for your students in your own classrooms. We're also going to look at how you can join our team. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Professor Sarah Schroeder to take the slides.
All right, awesome. So we're going to give you like a 3-minute rundown of how this project came to be, just so you kind of know our process and where we started with our work with CPS. And really, we don't like to say COVID-19 is positive at all, but it did bring about a positive partnership for us. And what happened when we shifted to fully remote in the spring was I teach instructional design basically to undergraduate pre-service teachers. And my students and I realized the design projects they were working on could be much more meaningful if we supported the people in our area who needed that help the most. So we started with one student and one teacher. Noah, one of my students, started helping Miss Ernestine Moore, who's a 4th grade CPS teacher, and he heard from her that she needed to focus on the students' needs, like social, emotional, and basic needs. And she needed him to help with Schoology. So that's what he did. And once he started helping, whoops, not sure what's happening with our animation there. Once he started helping, we had other students jump on board, and we created a team of students that worked with Rosemary to help take those paper packets and convert them to Schoology lessons. And what we did was we took those remote learning paper packets, we turned them into Schoology model lesson frameworks. We focused on universal design for learning and other learning theory when we were building them, and we really emphasized student-centered and empathetic design. So emphasizing that the students and families were the end users of these Schoology model lesson frameworks, not the teachers. So while they have to work for the teachers, they also really have to work for the students and the families, which in return benefits the teachers as well. So where we are right now is scaling out this process that we started. And we're going to show you some examples of what we've built as well. But we know back to school is coming way too fast for all of us. We have we have UC students working with CPS teachers to finish building out the entire first unit of ELA, math, science, and social studies. We actually have Bowling Green State University partners working with math up to now, and we're shifting that a little. But ELA, science, and social studies, we are almost ready to roll out the first unit for all of those with some flexible sample lesson frameworks and templates you can use. These are not intended to be a prescribed curriculum or a prescribed lesson planning template. They are just to help you deliver the content through a remote environment. And then you can add in your pedagogy, your best practices, your voice, your face, your direct instruction pieces, meetings with students, all of those things. So it's really just a flexible starting point for all of you in Schoology to help you push things out more easily. And they were designed using blended learning and really to find flexibility in the time, place, path, and pace that your students can do their work and be successful, so that students can have some ownership of when they need to learn, where they need to learn, how, in what order, and with what supports they need to learn, and how fast they choose to complete different learning tasks. Because, for example, my son can fly through some subjects, other subjects might take him more time, whereas my daughter is literally flip-flopped in where she needs to put more time and more effort versus others. So this blend in Schoology is, whoops, go back one. This blend in Schoology is really creating the context for all of your content. It's designing the flow a bit, but you're going to have a lot of control over that flow. It's going to provide some supports for your families and your students learning at home. And it's allowing you to plan for, in advance, variability, flexibility, and empathy for your students and their families or adult helpers or teen helpers or whoever they have at home. So we started with a standard template that our students at UC designed along with Rosemary and myself, using some standard icons and colors. So you'll notice when you look at these sample lessons that all of the headings are always blue, all of the heading number 2s are always green, notes to teachers are always highlighted in a light teal. Those are the pieces that you need to go in and remove and edit before you launch it to your students. And then notes to students or things we want to draw their attention to are highlighted in yellow. We then also have consistent icons used throughout to help those students know to look for those icons for key tasks and sections. You'll notice we chunk things a lot. We don't use many complete sentences intentionally because we want our students focusing their mental energies on the application of the learning, not finding things in Schoology. We want to keep it streamlined and simple. And just remember that while we may have these fantastic Google slide decks or Pear decks or whatever we use in direct instruction, we have families and students who are going to be trying to remember what they have to do, in what order, and how they're supposed to do it independently at home quite a bit of time. So this is really structured using my specialty as an instructional designer, and using my experience as a parent and my frustration in the spring and combining those two things. Also, you'll notice there are accessible texts where we have access to them linked. We've tried to include videos and readings and multiple ways for students to access and explore the content. So you'll see this all the way throughout these examples that we are providing. And yes, you will have the option to highlight key things, change the text. You can add in your own videos, your own activities using third-party tools. So that's exactly what we're trying to do here.
Yep, and then just go ahead and keep those questions in the chat area. We are keeping track of them, and we'll make sure we go back to them. And so, Sarah, can you talk a little bit to us about slide 12 and some of the more tangible examples here?
Yeah, absolutely. Lost our slides, though.
They're not on the screen?
Nope, we are on the screen.
Oh, geez. Okay, one moment, please.
But yeah, so to Rosemary's point, we have examples created for social studies, science, ELA, all of those things. And we can definitely, at the end, when we do the Q&A, if we have specific questions, we'll address those. So for example, you'll see, yep, the slides are back, thank you. So for example, you'll see on the far left, this is an ELA elementary lesson that is based off of the Wit and Wisdom curriculum. You'll see that we enlarged the font sizes for young readers. Also, all of these are readable using Read and Write, the Read and Write extension that students will have access to in Chrome. We are also preparing lessons for using Read and Write for students, so they have practice using Read and Write during that first week, so that they know how to use their screen reader tools, and they know, how to access these if they are pre-readers, early readers, struggling readers, all of those things. The middle, you'll see a science grade 7 sample lesson, which has, oops, someone turned their microphone on. If we could mute those, that would be great. So you'll see that sample lesson in the middle, where you'll see there's pages for the actual walkthrough for the students and families. And then you'll see those Schoology activities built in between with quizzes, discussions, and assignments. And then on the far right, you'll see an example of a high school English language arts lesson where we are providing that context. So for example, this is a lesson based off a reading from the Joy Luck Club. The adopted curriculum through Savas, formerly Pearson, didn't give a lot of cultural connection, context, and engagement of why we're learning these things. So we added in a lot of that why. You'll see in every lesson a little jump start. That can be used by teachers in live Google Meets. It can be used in live face-to-face classes once we're back. It can be used as an assignment for students. You can create an assignment for students. So these are just things you can use and ideas you can apply in your classroom to get your students engaged with the material. And we did that throughout. Every lesson has a jump start. Every lesson has, the same structure. So it's super consistent for families who may have students in multiple schools, in multiple grade levels, and they're trying to access this material for their students and get them through it independently at home.
And I just want to acknowledge we do have some questions popping up, and we will get to those just in order to give plenty of time for all the diverse groups of questions that we're going to have and make sure we hit those 4 objectives that we shared at the beginning. We're going to keep the presentation piece of this moving. So but go ahead and add those questions. I'm going to be scrolling back to the 10:16 mark, make sure we get them all later.
Yeah, and we will definitely focus most of our time on questions, I promise. We are just about wrapped up on slides. So the process that we're using in working with Cincinnati Public Schools and the University of Cincinnati students is that we have a team of UC faculty and students, CPS curriculum managers, and LTT group. We are shifting from BGSU to some other university supports as well. And then CPS teachers. And the CPS teachers are really the driving force in this because we need those CPS teachers to tell us what they need. If we build them without the teachers driving the process, we for sure will not build things that are really what you need and what you can use with your students. Rosemary, if you can go ahead and hit those quotes. We've got, for the teachers that want to help, these quotes can help you understand a little bit. One of the social studies teachers that we were working with said that her colleagues kept asking if she was getting paid to work with us. And she said, no, but they're building my Schoology course for me. That's payment enough. So by working with us, giving us feedback, you are supporting having these pieces already built for you in Schoology, where all you have to do is go in and edit and add your own voice and activities and assignment checklists and things like that. Another quote from a teacher that we had was that she just copied these Schoology lessons from resources, and she said these were so easy. So she's grateful to be part of the work. So I apologize, I'm working in my kitchen. My daughter has decided to join us. So this full team has been working together to build these in a way that aligns with the CPS curriculum, adopted curriculums, curriculum maps and guides, and teacher needs. So our design process is a simple process that we start with the established templates that are built between the UC team, the curriculum team managers, teachers, and vendors that we work with. We then build the model units based off of those curriculum maps and adopted curriculum that CPS has shared with us and that were built by the curriculum team, the C&I team. And then we collect feedback and we start building those lessons out. Once they are ready, we will launch them to the district, and Rosemary will walk you through how you can copy those into your Schoology courses. And then we just keep editing, keep building, keep improving. So that is our design process in a nutshell. So what we're going to do right now is show you a really quick example of a science lesson so you can see how it looks and the process. So we start with a course planning map that we get from the teacher. Some of the teachers are sending these to us in slide decks. Some are sending them to us in a Google Doc. Whatever format they send them to us, that's what we use to build. We build that model lesson framework, and then we have a Schoology project. So Rosemary, do you want to share that science lesson with us, or would it be easier if I shared my screen?
No, we are good. And I just want to stay mindful of the time. We're at 10:21. And so I am going to just quickly exit this slide deck. And I'm going to show you, don't worry, I've got videos and information for you on this step by step. So we are going to quickly go into it, but your questions and answers are coming. All right. I'm going to go to the model science lesson or the pre-release or the template.
The template would be great, or either one, either one.
Yeah. All right.
So we do have general templates that are available, which we can show you that are in this template library. These are empty. They don't have any content. They just have the framework set up for you. So if you are a subject that we're not creating these model units for, maybe fine arts or a foreign language, or maybe you're just excited to get started, you can go in and pull these templates, and Rosemary will show you exactly how to do that. So you'll see in here, there's multiple templates in this template library. Just because you're not English language arts doesn't mean you can't use the English language arts template if that's what looks best for your particular class. So choose a template that works for you if you're starting from scratch. But we do have a lot about with content using the adopted curriculum and using teacher feedback that you can go ahead and copy in right away. Rosemary, do you want to show them one that's already built out?
Yeah. Let's
we have so many now to choose from because we're at the end. This is great.
Do we want to go into the templates, or do we want to go into some of the built out parts?
Let's just go into one of the built out parts.
Okay, so ignore my navigation for just a moment, folks.
It's okay. We have a lot of work going on in school.
Yeah, this is not going to be how you get to this. I'm going into the area where Sarah's team is building out this work. So go ahead, choose your own adventure, Sarah. I love to walk through the seventh grade lesson 2. That's where I usually like to go for a demo. And I do that because I tend to, in all my other sessions, I go into first grade. I'm primary. So let's.
Gotcha. So we're going to start with ELA lesson 2. If you are an English language arts 7 through 12 person and you're wondering what on earth Savas is, it is Pearson. They have changed their name from Pearson to Savas. So the content hasn't changed, but every time you see it, and Rosemary, if you could zoom in just a little on your screen, I think that would help.
Yeah, let me pull it over. Give me 2 seconds.
Sure, no problem. Pearson did change its name over the summer. So
super fun. Hold on one second while I change my slides.
No, it's fine. Super fun. So we're going to show you a sample 7th grade English language arts lesson. We want you to know that all of them pretty much look the same. So the lesson templates or lesson frameworks we're sharing with you are all basically the same in terms of structure. They vary a bit based on the curriculum that's been adopted. So like for this one in particular, they have adopted the Savas curriculum. So that's what this was based off of. For for K through 6, it's wit and wisdom. For math, it's something different. For science, it's something different. So you'll see each one has the learning goals in the lesson right at the top for the students with the vocabulary and word study words down at the bottom. We have activities for the students to think through. Realize that these pages are not meant to be assignments that the students turn in. They are actually a framework, sort of like what you would deliver face-to-face in the classroom or stick on your bulletin board. So we're kind of almost creating a virtual bulletin board for you in the front of your room, if you think about it like that. And then you'll see an activity where the students are creating a word web. This is a Google Doc activity. So the students will access the slide deck that's linked. They will post a sample of this word web that they're going to complete, and then they'll talk about it in a discussion board. So we have all different types. We don't need to look at the word web. We have all different types of assignments built in here to give you some examples. This is that Joy Luck Club piece that we looked at a minute ago in a screenshot. You'll see a quote from the author, some additional background info on the reading if students are interested. So for you, those of you that have these students that just are curious and they want more, the more is built in for them. But you'll notice for the students that need to pare back, they don't have to go to this. It's just optional material for them. You'll see that Jumpstart. You'll notice that we tried to put in culturally diverse examples to meet the needs of our students. And in here, we have a video by Sarah Kay. It's a spoken word poem, and she's a woman of color that connects the concept of parents' dreams for their children, which is the theme of the lesson, into this particular piece. So this is what something will look like, that you'll get links to the Savas text, links to activities. There are assignments built, discussions built, quizzes and tests built. The note to teachers are always in blue. So you'll notice we say here's a link to the document. You have to make a copy of it, add it to your Google Drive, and assign from app. That will make it a Google assignment for your students. So anytime there's a note like that, you will need to make some edits before you launch it to your students. So again, we just tried to make these as robust as we could to give you a starting point in Schoology, so you don't have to start with 0, which we found can be very overwhelming right now at this time. So Rosemary, do you want to add anything or open it up to questions?
We're almost there. I know that there's a couple of quick things. I'm getting ready to drop a copy of our slide deck for you. I want to point out that on slides 17 and 18 are video versions of what I'm about to share with you. So the 2-minute video is just the high-level overview of what this is. Sarah just went into in-depth on what this video is. But we're encouraging you to share this with your colleagues. Your building principals have seen this, but share it out with your team. Slide 18 is going to give you the how-to video that somebody in the chat was referring to earlier. That's where I show you exactly how to access these, but I'm about to give you a quick tour of that. And then before I drop the slide deck, just want to let you know, Sarah, do you want to just talk a little bit to this? I think we're going to skip over or just really quickly capture the ideas in these 3 slides here.
Yeah, so right now we have about 30 Cincinnati public teachers who volunteered to help us out. The curriculum managers are reaching out to them once they let us know that they're interested in helping. And your curriculum managers will reach out either to have you help by sharing your excellent work you've already done, or to give us feedback on what we've already built. So if you're interested in helping, I will drop the link to the Google form that you can fill out right into the chat for you in just a second. So I'm pulling that right now for you. And you can volunteer to have a voice in this work. I guarantee you it will be rewarding. It will also, depending on what you are able and willing to do, potentially not be a ton of time, but it will benefit you in the end by giving you a voice in this work. So that is the link to the Google form. So if you would like to contribute to this work, you are welcome to volunteer there. All of our curriculum managers have access to the sheet that is produced as a result of that form. And where we're going is really, the goal is for UC to keep working with Cincinnati Public throughout the year. So right now we are working on modules 0 and 1, or Unit 0, Unit 1 for the first 5 weeks. We are going to continue working. So don't think this work is done once we get Unit 1 out to everyone. We have an entire year's worth of units. We are going to be in blended learning indefinitely. And even after blended learning is over, these units in Schoology, I can guarantee you're not going to want to go back to not using Schoology even in your fully face-to-face classroom. You will find intense benefits for you in helping you stay organized, giving your students more ownership of their learning, and I think you're going to really see the overall benefit of using these tools long-term. So we're going to keep dreaming big. We're going to keep talking to teachers. We are going to keep putting research and theory into practice throughout these ongoing opportunities. Starting in the fall, we have new students coming in. We have an entire group of design students coming in to help. We have Mary Bueller, who's with us right now, who's a former CPS teacher and is working with us now as a graduate student in our instructional design and technology group. And so she has that inside scoop on CPS, and she's also working with the project from the UC side. So we are super excited to continue this work to support accelerated learning at Cincinnati Public Schools, to keep students on grade level, on track, and on task. And just share this with your colleagues. Let them know what's coming. And we are ready for Q&A.
Well, yeah, we are almost there. I do not want to skip sharing how to access the thing. So I did tell them I'm going to share that as well. We've got the video, but I want to share that live as well. So definitely check out the rest of those slides, but I'm going to hop into here and show you very quickly how you can access these for your own course building right now. There's a couple of ways you can access it. So from the main landing page in Schoology, when you first log in, you can go into one of your courses if you already have one, or you can go into resources. There's also the drop-down arrow by your name lists your school. When you click on the name of your school, at the top of the list, you'll see Cincinnati Public Schools. Now, because I work for the district, mine goes straight to CPS, but it would take you to your school. So let's say Ernestine had clicked on below her name, Carson, she'd land here. She would just need to click right up here in Cincinnati Public Schools. So I'm going to go in there, and then we are publishing all of this work into the Cincinnati Public Schools resources. Now I'm also going to show you how to access this from your course. But if you don't have a course right now, or your roster isn't completely set, you could take any one of these items. I just want to let you know that I did share a video recently on a social justice unit I built with our colleagues in the Office of Curriculum and Instruction, and I used the science template. So I'll use this as an example. If I went into the science template and I want to add this to my resources, I can go to the gear to the right and get any individual item, or if I just back up one, the whole science template folder, it does say draft. I'm sure that will be changed. I think we were just adding a couple quick changes, right, Sarah? The templates are ready to go. Sorry, I may have misspoke earlier. I'll get back to that question during Q&A.
Yeah, the templates are pretty much ready to go. We are currently making adjustments to all of the full lesson drafts. So Yeah, we're going to start pushing things out probably Friday in the full release folder. So they're ready to go, proofread, edited, ready.
So if you wanted to access the science template, there's a little gear to the far right. You can click on that. And if you already have a course, you can add it in there. If you do that, I do recommend you immediately unpublish it while you do your edits. So just so you know, you can add it right to your course here, or you can copy it to your own personal resource collection. So, and that should be your default option. Again, because I'm in the district, mine goes up to other options. So it should land on your home. I made myself a folder at the top of my resource collection, and I called it remote learning. You can organize any way you want, but when I hit the button copy, it takes those resources out of our Cincinnati Public Schools resource folder and will make a copy into yours. I saw a question earlier in the chat about how, well, if I pull this over and it gets changed or updated, I have to change it. Yes, unfortunately you will. This is making a copy of it at the time into your resources. I just want to show you that in my remote learning folder, that template is already added. And so all I did was copy it to my resources and it's in here. Now, once you're ready to start editing, you just go again to the gear to the far right. And you can start to, this is already addressing one of the questions from earlier. Can you add your own highlights? Can you add your own emphasis? Yes, you can, you should, you are encouraged to. So give it a moment to load. I found a little trick is if you click on part of the text editor, it kind of wakes it up if it's taking a moment. But right away, I can start to plug in my content. So I used this template here about a week or 2 weeks ago, and I made a social justice unit. So these are transferable. You'll notice that this introduction page is just about engaging and a completion date. And then your lesson framework is there for you, and you can add your content. If you were pulling in one of the lessons with content, so for the teacher who asked about editing it for herself or adding her own updates or highlights, I'll go into one example in here, and we'll go right back to this one. Once I pull it over into my course, I can still just click that edit button. Again, you can wake it up by clicking right there, just a little trick. And then anything that you want to add yourself as highlights, changes, you can absolutely customize that in here. Do try to keep in mind those style guides, and that was a piece that I did show in my video. I'll go back to that. But you can edit any of this. So you may have a learning goal that you want to extend, or maybe you want to chunk it down smaller and you're going to release this as 2 parts. You own that, you make your pedagogical decisions, and you decide how you're going to use this. What we do encourage you to do is to use the structure, because that's going to give your students predictability and ease navigating among different courses, and especially for families or caregivers at home who are helping children across multiple grade levels or even multiple buildings. If we can use a common structure, that's going to help them at home. So again, you can edit all of that inside of it once you're in your resources or in your course, just by accessing this gear right here. I feel like I am done with the how to access and how to edit portion, and I would like to get to questions in the chat.
Hey, Rosemary, we had a lot of questions about Montessori. We had a lot of questions about Montessori that I would like to address. We know that some teachers have multiple grade levels in their classroom in a different structure like Montessori. We also know that some educators have multiple subjects in their classroom with the same students. So the nice thing about what we're building is that you can copy it in whatever way you want. So for example, Carolyn Powers at Ethel Taylor is teaching, you know, 2nd grade, and she would like her English language arts and her social studies to kind of work together. So when she copies things in to Schoology from the resources, she's moving them around so that they're where she wants them to be for her students. And then she can edit how she connects those things together for them. So all of these pieces are highly maneuverable, highly editable. As far as Montessori goes, we do have a group of curriculum managers who are starting to work on Montessori, and they are excited to get connected with the Montessori teachers. Yep, Rosemary, you want to talk about that more? Because you're talking about it right now on screen.
Yeah. So part of our transition over to the Office of Curriculum and Instruction, my team, LTT, is we were paired off with different directors of school leadership, or DSLs. So for those of you who teach Montessori, then you might know that Monisha House works with all of our schools and special programs, including all our Montessoris. So she just asked for me to create and launch a Montessori group that just kicked off yesterday. So that's brand new. Right now, what we have in here for you is just a discussion board for us to introduce ourselves, to get to know one another. But what we plan to have is in our resources, we will be pulling together some of those. As teachers are using and making this their own, we want to make sure that you can share those. So you can throw anything on here. So, and again, please join this group if you're a Montessori teacher. If you're just curious and you join, try to make sure that you don't ask questions outside of that. We know that our Montessori educators often join these general district trainings, and it's not customized for them. So this is their space for it being customized to Montessori. Also, just in case you're in the call, if you're expeditionary learning, same thing. There is now a group for you as well, with the exact same structure and the same purpose for us to pull together those lessons. We'll be pulling in the Wit and Wisdom templates and the other templates and making a space for adding your expeditionary learning. But we don't have a team dedicated to that yet. But what we've done is create a space for this now. So I'll add the expeditionary learning as well. So Montessori, please join your Montessori group. Expeditionary learning, join your group. And we will be working more and more together to see how we can better customize these. Sarah, do you have anything else you want to add to Montessori? Okay. I'm just going to put EL for expeditionary learning group. Now, for other specific groups, there are different teams and managers. I have been partnered with our new and wonderful K-6 ELA manager. So I am focused on Wit and Wisdom, and then I'm focused on our schools under Monisha House's cluster, our special programs, which include preschool, Montessori, SCPA, like the arts. Those special programs are under that umbrella. So that's what I'm focused on. But we have different people on my team, like Kimberly McLean, who's working with Dr. Spencer's cluster. Ashley Badgett is working with Dean Blazes, and she's focused on supporting ECHO teachers. So there's support across all. I saw a question earlier about career tech. You have a career tech manager, Mike. Oh, shoot. I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting his name, but there is a career tech manager. I reached out to him directly.
It's Michael Turner.
Thank you, Michael Turner. All right. So, but what I really recommend, this was just me personally, they are all great templates. Science or social studies have a very transferable flow. The Wit and Wisdom does follow like launch, learn. Oh gosh, Sarah, I should know this. I'm just freezing. It follows the Wit and Wisdom flow for the Wit and Wisdom template. The ELA follows the SAVIS flow, right? But science and social studies follow a more general flow. So for those of you who had your questions about other content areas, I would look at one of those other templates.
Yeah, and we are working with social studies on incorporating DBQ and TCI. Science, we are working on getting Gizmos access for the Title I schools that don't have it. We should have an update on that by the end of the week. So we know a lot of things are happening last minute, unfortunately, due to budget issues and funding and connecting with people who've been on vacation. So we're making things happen as fast as we can in various subject areas.
Yeah, and Karen Clemens for the ELA K-6, she's been, we are just waiting on our vendor to give us access to our online stuff. So some of this is really beyond our control, but we are doing the best we can to support you with up-to-date real-time information. Jessica, so if you copy your courses, I did answer that one. Yes, if it is updated or changed, you would update yours. In the templates, you should expect no significant changes. But in the pre-release lessons, those are going to change, and Sarah's teams and the math team are working on those finalizations now. Those will be released by your content area managers. So, you know, Liz Wolf, she is our new science manager, will release the science material. Lanisha Simmons, our 7 to 12 ELA, will release the SAVIS materials. So you can look for that coming soon. Let's
And
see.
I would just recommend that everyone be really patient until the end of the week. Right now, we only have sample lessons in pre-release. Significant changes have been made since those pre-release modules based on teacher feedback. And as Rosemary said, the K through 6 Wit and Wisdom ELA folks, we are still waiting on access to InSync, which is the digital version of that and those digital tools. So if you can just wait until you hear from your CNI manager, that would allow you to get the most updated version of things where you have to make the fewest edits.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean you couldn't pull them in now and practice with them. We know it takes a little time just to get the skill of, of editing and changing. Maybe you want to insert an image and you want to know how to customize that image, maybe add a tag to it, or maybe you want to insert your own video. This is a great time to pull some of that sample content into your resources or into your course and unpublish it and start sort of playing and practicing with those settings if that's something you choose to do. So templates, yes, pretty much would not be changed, but I did notice the Word draft was still on there, so I'm going to get with Sarah after this call, and that was probably on me because I did hear those were done, but I don't think I updated the Word on there. Kimberly McLean making a Sandbox course. Okay, yes, Sandbox courses can be. I'm going to add this to the chat now. In our Tech Talk course, in our Schoology resources, you don't have to dig for this. I'm going to give it to you. There's a link that says need a new course created. Fill out this form. I'm going to pop it out and give you the direct link now. And so that is the link to if you want a Sandbox course created. Just bear in mind you should not add students to your Sandbox course. We don't want to overload their list of courses. An application to world languages. And thank you, Alex, for your patience. I want to quickly show you that for world languages, our world language manager, Sarah Morales, did add a template resource for world languages. So if you go into the Schoology course template library, there is a world languages course template for 2021. So Sarah has added this for you. You can pull those over and start using those now. The content itself is not added. So keep in mind the templates are the empty framework of your lesson. The model lessons or model lesson frameworks will have content inserted in them like we showed to you with the 7th grade lesson. But the templates are empty and they just have the framework for your lesson. So for world languages, I recommend you pull that over.
And Rosemary, I would just like to highlight one common misconception that these are lesson plans that you have to use exactly as you get them. These are frameworks. These are not lesson plans. These are just content with some context to give you a jumping off point in the digital environment. But the teachers still have to add all of your brilliant pedagogy and delivery pieces and that sort of thing to get them to the students in a way that makes sense.
Yes, and it really is about getting them to your students in a way that makes sense to you. So our teams may have inserted a video that they feel is relevant. You may want to record your own video of you explaining this process your own way. You can do that. That is yours to own, edit, and modify to make it work for your students. To Ashley McCartney's question, yes, I will notify you by posting to our Office of Curriculum and Instruction and our CPS Tech Talk course an update that says Schoology course template library has been updated. I will make sure I publicly announce that. And you can expect that during this week. All right, so we are in the second half of the hour answering questions. Sarah, do you want to add anything?
Yes, I do. So Bridget made a comment that everyone's super excited to get in here and start, like they want them right now, right? And unfortunately, we don't have everything right now, which we wish we did. But what you can do right now is look at the samples, look at the templates, and figure out where your voice fits in. So this is a great time to work on your Google slide decks for your students, for live meetings and activities for live meetings. This is a great place if you do self-paced Pear Deck lessons with voiceovers that you're going to deliver. Get all of those pieces you're going to want to plug in that are more personal. Get those ready so that once you get that framework pushed out through resources, the final one, all you have to do is go in and add your Bitmoji classroom, add in your slide decks, add in your voiceover videos. You know, you've got those pieces ready to go. And so there's still a lot you can do right now, even without having that access to the full lesson framework yet.
Yes, and Sarah, I'm really glad that you pulled out some of those tangibles for everybody in the audience. Those are some great things. I also want to make it really clear to you that we are providing this information with this level of detail out of response for what can we be doing. I want to make it really clear that there is no expectation on you during your summertime that you are doing this. We are responding to people saying, what can I do? I want access to this. When you start your startup week next Monday, I can't believe it's next Monday, you will have professional development that you're participating in. Things will be ready for you to pull over. The things we're telling you can do now are things you can do now. Please take a deep breath and give yourself a lot of grace and room for like just exploring it. And if you need to take the next 3 days off to go decompress, do that. We're just saying what you can do, not what you should be doing. All right, post-unit 1, Sarah already addressed that a little bit. I'm just going down in order if that's okay, unless you guys saw another question you want to get to. I want to make sure no one gets missed.
Yeah, we have answered quite a few of them in the chat, so you may want to glance at the answers as you go as well.
Okay, you know what? Since there's 3 of us, can we just say, did we answer Erica's question about, oh, thank you, Erica. That was just a shout out.
Can I say one more thing while you're glancing through that, looking for questions that didn't get answered? Any of you who have student teachers coming in from UC Xavier, Miami University, College of Mount St. Joseph, or anywhere else, we are working with student teachers who are coming in, teaching them about these templates, teaching them about how to update and make changes in Schoology, teaching them basic tools like screencasting. Most of them already know how to do a lot of these things. I would highly recommend you use your student teachers. If you have a student teacher, that you figure out how you can use those student teachers to help you update Schoology, help you create slide decks, help you learn Pear Deck if that's your goal. Because these students, most of them are looking for things to do to help you, and they know these tools. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, Jennifer and Erica, or anyone else who's feeling overwhelmed, you know, get a hold of your student teachers and start figuring out where their strength areas are and where they can help you, and know that if they're University of Cincinnati, we are training them for you. So
and on that note too, let me also just really ask that when you get this work done, go to your appropriate curriculum group or team. If you are a Montessori teacher and you are working with a student teacher and you guys create something, post an update to the group that says, hey everyone, my student teacher and I worked on this. Here's a link. Then, you know, myself or Karen can add it to your resources. But, you know, let's share. Let's keep that idea in mind from slide 24. And let's be active participants in our curriculum groups and teams. So, you know, if you are in math and you guys extend, modify, enhance a great part of the math lesson, jump into your Math and Me group and post an update. To those of you who were asking about my videos, they are embedded in slides 17 and 18. And then those actually go straight to YouTube. If you just click play, pause that. You can click on my little icon here, and that'll take you straight to my YouTube channel. Trying to make everything super accessible and at your fingertips for you. But just echoing what Sarah said, if you're working with that student teacher and you guys do something great together, share it. Let us know. All right, did the question on wit and wisdom, ready math get answered, Bridget? Oh, we don't know? Okay. So Paula Doman said that I see for elementary wit and wisdom, templates are filled in with content, but ready math are not. So templates are not with content. There's one in the wit and wisdom that says sample with content. Templates do not have content, so you don't want to pull that in. I almost hesitate to just like not say we're just going to take that out, because I think that little sample with content was creating some confusion. But yeah, templates should all be blank. They should all, sorry, not blank. They should all just have the framework only. Are all courses synchronized? Building assignments in Schoology tomorrow. Is this the same course and content? I don't know what you mean, Patricia.
So a couple people had the question, are these synced when we make changes? The answer is no. So
no.
If you have copied anything from resources into your course, then if you see changes you would like to make in what you have, then you need to go in and make those changes in your individual course. The other question about the building and Schoology training tomorrow, it will be more specific to Schoology. So it will use these templates we've shared with you, but it will be more specific on how do you actually edit them, how do you actually add things to them. So if you're looking for more information on how to use the templates and the sample lessons, edit and add to them, that Schoology training tomorrow will walk you through that.
Yeah, this was a town hall to explain more in detail the purpose, design, process, and how to join. I did add a little bit of how to access and edit. I do have some videos on my channel too about those as well, but definitely those are worthwhile for you to attend so that you can get to doing a little bit more work with them.
Rosemary, can you go ahead and share the evaluation form? We do have a few people jumping out.
Thank you. I will do that now. It's actually on slide 25, so you do already have it if you open the slides, but I'm also going to drop the form directly. So if you have to hop out before it loads or need to take care of it later, just do please make sure you complete our Office of Curriculum Instruction exit ticket. I will say that, so you put the date in, your first and last name, building. Presenter, you can put Sarah and Rosemary, or Sarah Schroeder and Rosemary. Indicate your grade level. You do have to put your employee ID in if you want to receive contact hours. The course content was, oh, this one, sorry, I'm still newer to this. Say other, it's an other. Name of course was Schoology Town Hall for short. You don't need to put that whole, oh, it says exactly as it reads. Okay. Be nice if we had that a drop down. I'm thinking out loud, y'all. I'm going to copy and paste it so that you can have it exactly. Goodness, I should name these shorter, shouldn't I? Okay. Here is the exact wording of the name. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you so you can just copy and paste that. It's also on the calendar entry that you copied. All right, we are at 10:57. Want to be mindful of getting you guys out of here on time. And also Sarah's time, Bridget's time. Thank you both. I have some time I built in for staying for questions, so I'm totally willing to. I feel like we probably missed some things in the chat. Bridget and Sarah, was there anything? You know me, I go down item by item. All right, I'd invite anybody to open their microphone if you feel like your question was missed. Oh, thanks, Mary.
So I do have a question.
Sure.
I'm still somewhat confused as to where to find the templates if we wanted to copy them. And each time I go to Office of Curriculum and Development in Schoology and hit resources, I somehow end up on something that says personal. And
yes.
I don't know where I'm supposed to be looking. I can't find, I don't know what resources I'm supposed to be looking at.
So what it sounds like to me that your best next step would be to take one of our Schoology Basics sessions because it just sounds like you're having a little bit of a misstep in your navigation. You are actually not.
I actually have taken the first thing, but it's still, I don't know if there's something else going on with what I've got set up here.
It wouldn't be set up differently. If you click on resources, this is your personal resources. This is your home. You need to go to the drop-down menu over here or within here on the far left. And I didn't go to every way. You could, maybe earlier I mentioned you can access this several ways. You can go to group as well in resources. And then under group is school resources. You can also access it right here, Cincinnati Public Schools. Takes you to the same place. So if you go in through your resources, then you could take it and copy it to your own resources. You won't have as many options here. This is because I'm an administrator on it. You can copy it to your own resources. You won't have move to, sorry. Copy to your own resources or add it to your course here. So you can access it through resources, but you need to dig into group. I find personally that if I'm in my course, which this is in my video, It's easiest to just go to import from resources within a course. I didn't share this earlier. But then you're still navigating the same thing. It takes you to yours, and then off to the left, see group, you click on group, and it's under school. So you still have to dig a little. That's why I usually end up showing folks the fastest way to get there is click on the name of your school. And then when you click on the name of your school, Cincinnati Public Schools is right at the top of the list here on the right. So that's just a faster way to get directly there.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Also, too, for your ease, I'm going to make sure I drop this directly in the chat so you guys don't have to navigate it all. You can just go straight in. And I'll make sure I add it to the slide deck somewhere if it's not already in there. If we can save you clicks, I mean, that's what we really try to do for our students, right? We don't want them to have to click to go in here and then click there and click here. And so we want ease of access for all of you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else want to unmute and ask any questions?
Hi, Rosemary. You had put up a link earlier to the Expeditionary Educator group.
Yep. You want me to post it again?
Yeah, is there a code to join that? It didn't ask me to join group.
There's a button that should appear that asks you to join group, but I will also add the code. So I'm going to both put the link and the code. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, no problem. EL group. And that's not English language, that's expeditionary learning, just to be clear. That's the group. And then I'm going to put the join code as well. Just in case you need to share it with a colleague, you can tell them to join this group. There you go. Okay, I can answer the question, Caroline, if you want to hold on, but I want to make sure no one else is waiting with a question about the content we shared today. But I will answer your question about level 1. Anybody else want to unmute? Do we have any other questions about the content from today? I can see we've lost about half our members. Oh, Erica, go
Rosemary,
ahead.
this is Robin. Erica Robin, sorry. Anyway,
Gotcha.
Here's my question. We on the instructional committee went over a lot of the scheduling in which we were told, that's okay, that we were really being encouraged to have science and social studies embedded in ELA. So my question is, for our K-3 level, are we going to have science lessons that either A, follow the pacing or follow the state guidelines, or B, are we going to use those as embedded lessons in Wit and Wisdom?
So the core content areas of ELA, math, science, and social studies will have Unit 1 model lesson frameworks developed with the content. You, as the owner of your classroom and how you teach, for example, I taught first grade self-contained, and my social studies and science was always embedded in my ELA. I did that together. So whether or not it's literally taking pieces out, if I would maybe copy and paste it together, or I would make it like just flow differently, I can construct that any way that I want. And you can construct that with simple things like copy paste. I would encourage you to try to not keep them too long. Like if you are going to like say, we're going to be reading this and this connects with this social studies topic, and so I'm going to pull that over, just be mindful of not making each section too long. I would chunk that out. But that would be a great conversation for you to have in the context of one of your curriculum team groups. Yes, Sarah, go ahead, please.
If I could add to that, I'm so glad you asked that question, because we are a little worried about K-3 science and needing teachers to contribute to that discussion. So please fill out the form, because if we can build them up front, like if we can build them up front knowing they're going to be embedded into ELA, that is going to help us make them so much more usable for you. K-3 science has not been started yet.
Yeah, the framework is there, or the lesson, the template is there, but the content itself has not been plugged in yet.
Right. So we've worked on a lot of science so far, but we need K-3 teachers. Liz Wolfe is desperate for you to contribute to that conversation. We can build them quickly once we have the teacher's voice in the mix. And I've heard that from a couple of different ELA teachers that they want science mixed in the K-3. So I really, oh, Erica, that would be great.
Yeah, Erica
You
just,
could
and
share
I think
that.
it's actually Robin. So Erica, Robin, please join us. Take that link on slide 19. Fill out that form and
Liz has a
join our
copy of it.
team.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Erica. Can I also, I want to say, social studies is using a common social justice or racial justice unit for the first 2 weeks. So that's going to help give us time to ease into how we're going to mix these two things together for you, or how you're going to mix these two things together. So yeah, do you want to show that?
Yeah.
Anyone who's in K through 3, we already have, and we're putting the finishing touches on this actually today. You're in 4 through 6.
Yeah, I saw
K
that.
through
Sorry.
3. Yeah, just
Thanks.
slow down. So this, oh wow, they built this morning. This is so
Yeah,
funny. It's different
this
than
is
it did an
new.
hour ago.
Yeah. They are currently
So-
building it right now.
Yeah, they're literally building it right now. So this will give us a little time. So know that the first 2 weeks is going to be focused on talking about race and the idea of protest. So if you can think about how that would fit with that module 0 of wit and wisdom, that would be really, really helpful for us. So obviously we've tried to make ourselves experts in as much of the curriculum as we can, as fast as we could, but we need you. You guys are the experts. The same is true of science. They're going to be doing sort of a standard 1 to 2 week, like what is science, what is inquiry kind of lesson to get us started in a low stakes way. So we'd love your voices in that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't wait till we release. Dave Traubert will release the social studies. I cannot wait for him to give the green light to get those published. This is really, yeah, the racial justice course. When I first previewed that earlier this week, I was having a hard day, and I looked at that and I had to call Sarah and just say, this just made my day. Like, just warmed my heart, reminded me why we're doing what we're doing. It's beautiful work, and it's such important work. So our partnership with UC has just been such a gift to our educators, and we know you're anxious to get it in your hands. They are anxious to give it to you, but they won't release it until they know it's quality and it's up to what our curriculum leaders know our kids deserve and that you guys need. So thank you for joining our town hall. I'm going to kind of
I'm personally, Erica, I'm going to be emailing you personally, because yeah, I won't put my email in the chat, Erica. No. Rosemary can get me your email, or Mary can, because I can't handle any more emails right now. I don't want my email just widely being out there. But yeah, we would love your feedback on that, to be able to finalize that social or that racial justice unit. We are getting into InSync, geodes, and foundations like right now. So if we can make all those things be a beautiful friendship right off the bat, it would be unbelievable.
Yeah, so, to any of you in the call asking how you can get involved, I'm just going to say it again. Slide 19, sign me up, click the link and go and join. Complete the form. That's how Sarah can get your contact information, and all our curriculum managers have access to it. So yeah, please complete the form. And if you prefer to go by Robin, say that on your form. All right. We are running just about to 10 minutes over. I can take until 11:15, and then I have a call I have to take at 11:15. But I'm willing to stay in a few more minutes if anybody else wants to unmute or ask a question. I've stopped looking back in the chat. I'm just looking for new ones.
Hi, I was on a reopening call with my school. Okay. Would I be able, so I'm so sorry that I had to join late. Is there any way to see your slides that I could
Absolutely. Just kind of... you can see the slides, and I record this. This should be published on my YouTube channel before the end of the business day today.
Thank you so much.
So you will also have the video cover looks like this. I will post it to our Tech Talk and Office of Curriculum and Instruction course that the video recording is live. So, but I'll give you the slides now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. And with that, I'm going to drop the slide deck and end the recording. On the recording, I just want to say that if you are watching this later, on a recording, all of the links that we shared, I always post the chat transcript underneath my videos. So if you are later looking for how to get to information and you watch this online, I'll go to the last one. Last week's town hall is on there. I would watch the most up-to-date one. I might even, not make that a public link anymore because I want the most up-to-date information. But when you click on the video, right below it, chat transcripts are, oh, and I didn't add it last week. I'll make sure I add it. All my other videos have chat transcripts on them. So let me see. This is an example. If you just click in the information below, the chat transcript will be right there, and you'll be able to view that.
Rosemary, I have a question about the Schoology level 1 training that we need to do. How do we, I'm on Schoology, but I don't know how to get to where that is.
No problem. I'd be more than happy to show you. And let me just, again, on my playlist, your whole level 1, I have developed a playlist to walk you through all of the I can statements so that you can pass it everything from getting started and where you're going to navigate. So I'm going to share that in the chat, but I'll also briefly show you now since we're on here live. So this is my playlist on this level 1 Distinguished Educator program that is supposed to be completed by August 21st. I just put DEP for Distinguished Educator Program, and that's the playlist. To access that, you can simply go into Schoology to courses. Now you'll need to look for the Office of Curriculum and Instruction. Most people tell me, well, that's not where my tile is, or it's not there. You can reorder your courses if you want to, but you're looking for this, this course, Office of Curriculum and Instruction. If it does not appear on your 12 tiles, you go into the small link in the upper right, My Courses. And you can just search. It is alphabetical. Don't worry, you won't have this many courses. Search O for Office. And it's right there, Office of Curriculum and Instruction, Section 1. You can bookmark that, or you can reorder your courses to make it appear. But the entire Distinguished Educator Program folder is right there with everything from start back on Friday, May 15th, a copy of the email, through completion of earning your badge and moving into stage 2. So everything you need is right there in our Office of Curriculum and Instruction course. That I will drop in the chat as well. Just note, if you're not in a CPS Schoology account, this will not work for you. We do not open this course up to outside of our district. So if you're a new hire and you're hearing this, you have to wait until your CPS account is started. We did make a copy of all the materials in your new hire course, though.
Thank you, Rosemary.
You're welcome. Waiting to move on. So our team did just meet yesterday about this. There were currently 3 of us on the team who were scoring all of these submissions, 3 or 4, and we are training up and scaling out this process with our team. So we have stated repeatedly that it takes up to 2 weeks. And admittedly, like, we had a couple members of our team out last week. We are even up to a 3rd week on some of them, and we are sorry. We're doing our best to get these done. Just know your submission is due by August 21st. Stage 1, as of last night, was all graded, or I hate the word graded, it was scored. All of stage 1 was scored if it was submitted before yesterday afternoon. That was all caught up. Stage 2 is not actually due until October 16th. We're trying to stick to that 2-week window, but please just be patient with us. We released it early because of high demand on people wanting to achieve, but it is not due yet, and we are doing our very best to get those scored. But our biggest priority right now is our stage 1. Okay, if your stage 1 is not scored, refresh your screen. Honestly, like I got a message yesterday that was all done. If it's still not done, you can reach out to me on Google Chat, because I got a message yesterday afternoon that all of stage 1 was caught up. All right, I don't want to hold Sarah on the call any longer than she needs to. She's got so much work to do with UC. She actually
I'm doing
teaches.
other things. I'm listening in.
Yeah.
I'm doing other things. I'm trying to work on my making boxes that are going to be mailed to all my students. So
yes.
She's focused on the fun.
Yeah, such an incredible university educator, and we're so lucky to have her as our partner for CPS. You're welcome. All right, folks, with that, I am going to end the recording.